and in the region in many cases, that there's a local aspect. Now it grows, the local focus grows with the size of the economy and the size of the market. So a lot of the people in Saudi Arabia, a lot of entrepreneurs in Saudi really don't have a regional product, they have a Saudi product. And that Saudi product cannot be regionalized, it cannot be taken out of the country, it's very limited and committed to the geographic footprint that it exists in. The other challenge that we also face is looking at ideas from outside of Saudi, from the US or Europe or anywhere else, frankly, and predominantly from the US, and then trying to emulate and copy those and try to introduce them in an Arabic format in the Saudi market, which doesn't translate into an appealing investment platform, and I would not invest in that just because that you have a nice market that you want to play in. Okay, so I think the challenge is the level of creativity from my perspective is actually in certain cases low, and when I talk about the ICT sector, the dot-coms and similar apps and mobile apps and gaming and so forth, I'm rather impressed when you look at the technology side that there are individuals that are creating genuine technology, but they are less, I mean, if you're facing challenges to begin with to finance the dot-coms, which are reasonably easier to understand by an investor, imagine the challenge that the technology is going to face when they're trying to explain what they're doing to an ecosystem that they exist in today. So it's a fundamental problem that we're working aggressively to address, and hopefully we can see more aggressive, organically grown regional and global ideas coming from whether it's Saudi or any other market for that matter. But we do, I'll echo again, we do have challenges and we have to be pragmatic about it.
I'll just add a quick comment there. I think there's a very strong, I guess, fantasization with the idea of structured programs, whether they're incubators or accelerators. And at least from our experience in the UAE, where we've worked with a lot of young nationals, whether it's Emiratis and so on, is that sometimes, because everyone's got good ideas, at least they think so. And these ideas could be, from a market validation perspective, good or not so good, probably more not so good. And therefore, putting them through a structured program is like it's like heavy dose, it's too much. So we find a community-based environment where they get encouraged to nurture their ideas. They don't have to kind of go in a 90-day pace at a 60-day pace. They may not be ready for it. They may not be interested in that. And therefore the idea, there's a practice called the art of hosting, where you actually host conversations between people with certain ideas to find ways to collaborate. Because the first time I'll give you a very brief anecdote. We had someone who walked into our space, a young Emirati lady, and she's like, I've got a great idea, but I can't share it with anyone else in this room. I'm like, well, if you don't share it in this room, you won't be able to, would you rather find out you've got no customers today or tomorrow? And in that sense, the idea of having that conversation in a very community-driven and sort of warm environment versus saying 90 days, if you don't pass the test, you're out there, it may be more discouraging probably in the long term to them as well.
So, one more question? Sorry.
Okay, now one more question. We don't have time. Now we'll go for a short break. We'll be right back after 10 minutes. 10 minutes please. نتوقف الاستراحة لأداء الصلاة لمدة 10 دقائق فقط.